a little early, so I can try to adjust this camera. Oh, that's better, I think. All right, I think that's good. All right. I guess I should put my phone on Do Not Disturb for 1 hour. So the live stream starts in 1 minute. Oh, hi, Lysandra. I was just starting it up a little early. I wanted to adjust my camera and get that done before 2. I think I've got my my list of things to talk about all set. I have my microphone, which is right here. Actually, I'd rather have this be closer to the screen so I don't look like I'm all shifty-eyed. That's pretty close. It's a little bit of a different view, but all right. I think my head covers most of the mess. All right. Well, everybody's gone. No. Oh, there's somebody. Hello. Just waiting a minute or two before I get started. Wait for some people to show up. I think I've adjusted this camera enough for now. I got my second COVID vaccine on Thursday evening, so that was 2 days ago. And oh, while we're waiting, I have the Juki. Oh, you see the same machine as me. I've had some trouble with getting through thicker seams and vinyl. I haven't had that issue except when I tried going through about 8 layers of vinyl, which it's probably not designed for. I wonder if maybe having a walking foot would help. The machine does come with one, and I was actually going to mention that because I had to get mine replaced. But I think depending on how many layers, I use either like a 14, 16, or 18 needle. Longer stitch length for sure. It took me a while to figure that out. On vinyl, I usually use like 3 to 3.5. You could even go a little higher if it's top stitching. Initially, I was using too short of a length or a stitch length. And then I was also not using a Teflon foot. That was the other thing. That'd actually be better than a walking foot, come to think of it, because you need it to glide over the vinyl. And if it's just the regular metal foot, it's going to kind of get hung up on it. So if you haven't tried those things, try those. And that's worked okay for me. So hopefully that helps. But yeah, so I got my COVID vaccine. That was the second one, so I'm now fully vaccinated. I got it on Thursday evening, so a little less than 48 hours ago. I was good up until yesterday at 1. And okay, good, Lysandra, I hope that helps. And then I went into work because right now we're having our almighty standardized testing, which is so very sacred in the education world. So I could not miss work. I had to actually administer a test. So I made it okay. I was able to administer the test. I got through 2 of my classes, and then hi Evelyn, right before my my 4th period started, I started feeling real sick. Like really like woozy, lightheaded, dizzy, like I was like a little nauseous. So that was bad because when you're a teacher, it's a little complicated 'cause you can't just like leave your students unattended. So yeah, I had a quick run to the bathroom. I could barely walk straight, and then luckily I was able to get some coverage for my last period. And luckily it was weird because I had my mom pick me up, which sounds like I'm a student myself, but she lives 5 minutes away. I could not safely drive, and my 16-year-old daughter, she has her permit, but she has only driven a car once, so that wasn't going to be a safe option either. So fortunately, my parents were able to go back and get my car, bring it home later. But yeah, I went to bed and I slept off and on until about 5:30 or so this morning, and then I felt okay. So I'm like 95% better now, but that is normal. I read an article by an epidemiologist who explained the process of like how vaccines work and how, like why your body reacts the way they do. Um, but then my husband got his vaccine the same time as me. He feels fine. Not that I'm bitter or anything. Lysandra is saying, I've heard similar experiences after the second dose of the vaccines, even if people had no symptoms with the first. Same happened. Oh, that happened to you too. Oh, man. Well, hopefully yours didn't last too long. I mean, I wouldn't go and like jump rope or anything. Not that I would do that anyway. Exercise. But yeah, I'm just sitting here normally and I'm okay. I can function. I did a little bit of sewing before this. So I think I'm okay. But that was, it would have been better if I had just been able to stay home to play it safe. But, luckily, oh, hi, Shayna. Oh, hey, that's okay. It's good to see you even briefly. So yeah, I was glad that I didn't like throw up in my classroom in front of students or anything. That would have been really embarrassing. So, but I mean, and they're ninth graders, so it's not like they were traumatized that I was like obviously feeling ill, and they understood why. All right, so moving on from that, a couple of things I want to talk about. Actually, I think I'm going to switch the order around. First, I'm going to call this the mailbag, I think, where I talk about things that I ordered and got during the week. First thing, and of course, every week I forget at least one link in the description below. This is the thing I forgot. Got this off of Etsy. I wasn't even going to mention this, but this is a 1/4-inch elastic. Do we all remember a year ago when this was like gold? It was so hard to find and super expensive, and now you can just get it very easily. So, 3 days, Evelyn. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. But I'm glad that we all got the vaccine though, so that's a good thing. My 16-year-old daughter, I just heard the door shut. She just got back home from getting her first dose of the vaccine, which is so wonderful. And my 17-year-old's getting hers tomorrow. And then my 14-year-old, that's still in clinical trials, so she's kind of out of luck right now. But we just keep wearing our masks. But anyway, this is it was Once Upon a Time supply on Etsy. But I mean, this is pretty readily available anyway. But I'm going to be making some more of those doll shoes that I made 2 weeks ago. That's why I ordered that. But I, like within the last half hour, just got back. I went and visited my local quilt shop. It's called the Quilter's Haven. I don't think they have an online presence, so I won't elaborate too much. But I did mention them in a couple of past live shows that they were going to close down, and then someone went and bought them. And I thought, you know what, because it was it was very cave-like in there. They had the wood paneling that nobody likes, and the lighting was really poor, and they weren't terribly friendly. A lot of their fabric was really fuddy-duddy. And so I would end up buying most of my fabric online because when I went in there, I didn't feel very welcome, and I often didn't find anything that I liked. So this, I was on their email list, and I got the email saying that the shop was being sold. And I thought, well, you know what? Why don't I just email the person and just, let them know politely, just, why I haven't shopped there very much and what I would like to see if they're open to it. And I did that. And a couple weeks later, I got a response back, and the owner, her name's Liz. She was very nice, and she actually agreed with all the stuff that I said, like as far as like the lighting and the atmosphere and the selection. So it was great. So I decided real quick to go over there because it's less than 10 minutes away from me. And I went and said hi, and it's like night and day. She's got all these brightly colored, beautiful quilts hanging up on the walls. Um, the paneling's been painted white. She got new LED lights. So it's just very airy, open, welcoming. People that were friendly. And she was talking about how she's in the process of opening up all these various wholesale accounts with different fabric and supply manufacturers. So it's it's going to be a process, but I could already tell there was a very big difference right away. So I still got everything in the bag. I just got a couple of things. I'm try to be responsible and not spend too much money, but yeah. So of course, I got to buy any pattern. This clam up one, this is really popular, and I thought this would be great for using up scraps, and it's good for gifts. And who doesn't like a quick project? So I grabbed that, and then they had some of this Andover fabric. I think, let me look at the selvage. Does it say which line this is from? It does not. But yeah, it's from Andover. But I like geometric prints a lot. And this is going to be the lining for a necessary clutch wallet I'm going to make for a family friend. And then I already had this natural cork. I'm going to use this for the outside. Thank you. So I've made fabric wallets before, and I have one myself, but I thought this might wear a little better and not show dirt so much. So I'll use that for the outside and this for the lining. I might make that today. And then I was making some freestanding lace, and it had been suggested to use cotton embroidery thread, which I don't normally buy because normally you use polyester or rayon. And I was making this freestanding lace fan. It's an Urban Threads design. It ran out of the thread, so it's the project was partway done. It's like 3 different pieces, and I made one. So they had some of that, so I got that too. So, couple odds and ends, but it is very nice to have a friendly quilt shop in the area because not everybody has that. And especially having like less than 10 minutes away, and this is not a particularly affluent community, so the fact that I have one it's very, very nice. Another thing that I got, I'm thinking I got all my stuff on it, so I guess I'm just gonna show you this. I got one of these. It's right down here, and I've used the cutting. It's like, what is it? It folds up. It looks like this, and when you open it, it's got a cutting mat and an ironing board on it, and then you can fold it up, so you just have like, it only takes up like the 12 by 18 space, and then you can flip it around. So it's great if you're going to like a sewing or quilting class, or you have a small space. And I have this big cutting table behind me where I have most of it's a cutting mat, and then the rest of it is an ironing surface. But I made a video tutorial last Sunday and was trying to jam that big ironing surface over here. And I just thought, well, wouldn't this be nice to get one of these? Because then I can rotary cut and iron right over here all in one spot. And maybe I'll take a quilting class at the local shop. So I thought I'd get this. And so far, it's really nice. I like it. This is going to be super handy. Another thing too, I swear I'm not paid by Buying Annie to be a total stan for her patterns. I just love them so much. But yeah, I got another one. I think I showed you this last week, but I made this today. It's nothing exciting, but boy, are these useful. This is the small. There's small, medium, and large. So yeah. Super handy to wash your masks and wash like underwear type stuff in there. yeah, I just used colors that I had on hand. I'm not a big yellow person, and I had a yellow zipper, and I'm like, I'm never going to make a bag with a yellow zipper. So that's why I went with this, and it's great because they think of everything. Yeah, this even for a small, this is pretty large. And then on the packaging, you can see the medium. They got a pair of flip flops in there for scale, and then they got this whole bikini chilling in the large one. So um, this is pretty cool. It'd be good. I think they're kind of implying that you could take this to the beach, and then you could shake the sand out of your swimsuit. That's a really good idea. But yeah, this one's going to be for laundry because despite living, I don't know, less than a mile from the beach or from a beach, I never go because look at me, I burn. I'm not meant to be on a beach. But yeah, they thought of everything. They got the little hanging loop at the top, and then these two little pieces of the fold over elastic right here, so you can put your zipper pull in there. So then if you put this in the washing machine, you don't have the zipper pull like banging into the side of your washing machine making a racket. So I love the attention to detail. The other thing, this isn't like a thing I necessarily bought, but this is the purse organizer pattern. I think I showed it to you all last week, but I finally made this and I made a video. And let me tell you, these lives are, like, technically speaking, pretty easy to make because I just turn the camera on and I talk, and if you're interested, you watch it, and if not, then you don't, and you know, everything's great. With a video tutorial, oh my gosh. I mean, I've made them in the past, but I hadn't in a long time. I forgot how hard they are to do well. Like, it took me hours. First, like, it took me about 2 hours to sew this, by the way, which isn't too bad. But then that doesn't include like the cutting and the prep and everything, like the fusing of the interfacing, but the actual sewing, 2 hours. Love the pattern. Highly recommend. It's from Sotac Patterns. It's just called a purse organizer. You can find her on Etsy. But yeah, I had to like try to get the camera angle right so you could see what I was doing, and then edit down the video footage. Then I did a voiceover. I tried to add music, and then that didn't go well. And then you're trying to like to figure out like, okay, how much do I include? Because I know some people really like having every single little step shown in a tutorial, but then you end up like with a 2-3 hour video. And me personally, I don't want to sit through a video that long. And if I, not that I don't watch them, I mean, I kind of do. Like, I'll play longer videos like that while I'm sewing something else, which I know some of you have said that you do also. So it's kind of cool that way. And then once in a while you pick up some tips. But I just can't bring myself to make a video that long. I can't make a video that I can't see myself watching. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do one that's edited down. Plus, I always think it's good to have something that's a little different from what other people were doing, because otherwise, why do it? You know, if someone else is already doing it well. You know, like you got like Okla Roots, where she does all these fabulously well-produced videos, and she usually has like longer videos too. I'm like, well, why try to copy that when she's already doing it well? So what I did is I sped up the footage of me making it to like triple speed, and I think that turned out well. And the video was like 38 minutes long, so I think I'm okay with that. But technical skills, oh my gosh, I think I managed to figure out how to make my intro and outro the same volume level as the voiceover. But then it was hard because I could never be an actress. I can't memorize even like one single line like of script, because I wrote out ahead. It's awkward. I don't yet know how to cut away while I'm still talking to like another shot of something else. But yeah, I don't know if any of you actually watched the video, but oh my gosh, I'm sorry, it was hard. So Lysandra is saying maybe show the steps, but speed up the easy parts that you don't think provide true learning. Yeah, I think I kind of did that, but Yeah, if any of you watch it, let me know what you think. You know, oh, I didn't even think of that, Dar. Like you as the viewer could speed up the video. Why didn't I think of that? I've been watching YouTube for years and it never occurred to me that I could speed up the video. Well, I learned something today. Thank you. Yeah, it's just hard. And I was feeling really discouraged about it because I'm like, I don't feel like the video like production quality is really that great. But I figured, why make like I thought like, maybe I just won't release it. But then I thought, well, like, why make that decision for you? If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it, and no hard feelings. So I put it out there, and my husband pointed out too that, most people like won't put out the video. So the fact that I'm doing it, he's like, you should give yourself some credit. So I'm like, okay, I'll go with that. So anyway, that's the video. And then I did shoot most of a video for a machine embroidery tutorial. I don't have it with me because I got an order for his cat keychain. It's a Parker on the Porch machine embroidery design. So I thought, well, why not just make a quick video out of it? So I did that, and then I'll probably edit that this afternoon because it's something I can do while just kind of sitting and not tempting fate with this vaccine side effects. The other thing, it's this is turning into a weekly thing. I have a link below to Pixie Fair. Oh, I also have a link below to this pattern, and then this fabric is from Ruby Star Society, and I put a link to their website too, and to the mesh, and to buy any. Oh, Dar's saying some video people will make videos for the beginner in mind. We will watch the video. You're learning with us. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things, like what I do with my videos. If I screw up, I admit it, because I don't know. I just think authenticity is important. I've said that before. I don't want to look like someone who is perfect and never makes a mistake. So because then if you're making something, you make a mistake, you don't want to like feel crummy, like you're some idiot, because you're the only one who's made that mistake, because you haven't been. So I don't know. But anyway, this was yesterday's freebie from Pixie Fair. So if you're into 18-inch doll clothes, get on their mailing list. The freebies are for 24 hours only. But yeah, isn't that cute? It's a little gardening apron, and then a hat. The little gloves come with it too. And then they got this little printable for, aren't these cute? I printed this on cardstock. They're little seed packets. How adorable. So I don't know if I probably won't use rice because that might attract bugs, but something seed-like, I'm going to put inside when I fold these up. And I think I'm going to cover this with packing tape as well. So if it gets wet, it doesn't mess up the ink. Isn't that cute? I like little quick crafts like that. They're fun. Yeah, fellowship. I like that. I like that term, Dar. I like that a lot. Yeah, because I think we all kind of grow together, and eventually we won't be beginners anymore. Well, I'm not a beginner, but well, in some things I am, though. So yes, yeah, we're all beginners with some things and not others. So, so the other thing, I mentioned last week that it's a family friend of mine that he had traveled to Mozambique. He is a professional photographer, and I actually met him professionally over a decade ago with an organization called the Heart Gallery. And it is it's an organization that coordinates photographers to volunteer their time and expertise to take professional photos of children who are in foster care waiting to be adopted. And he's been involved with them for many years. That's how I met him, because I used to be a caseworker, an adoption caseworker. And he's just a wonderful man. He's actually, I guess they call that an expat from Britain. He lives here now in Florida. And then now I think he's on the board. He doesn't do as many photos, I don't think. He more does coordinating photographers. But that's how I met him. And then it was a funny coincidence. I never talked with him like socially or anything. But fast forward a couple years later, when I met my husband, I see him talking to somebody, and I'm like, it says Peter. I'm like, hey, how do you know Peter? Well, it turns out Peter's a car enthusiast, as is my husband, and that's how they met each other. So they're good friends now. So now Peter's a family friend, and he was hired to go over to Mozambique and photograph some resorts that a woman who lives in the area owns. And she is also, a humanitarian, and likes to help other people when she can. And he's naturally that kind of person. So he was like looking around like, hey, what can I do to help? So he took all these beautiful photos of the resort, of course, but then he went into the region, into the village and the rural areas and everything, and took photos of the people who live there, plus like the wildlife in the area, because they have some beautiful national parks, and realized that a lot of the people there don't even own a mirror. So there's kids who don't really know what they look like. And of course, if you don't own a mirror, you probably don't know a camera either. So he's thinking, well, that's what I can do to help. So he's going to go back. He's going to be there for June 1st, which is, I believe it's called International Children's Day. And he is going to take family photos, and he's bringing a printer along. And he's going to take photos of families who want them, and then print them out and give them to them so they have a family photo. So, like, how cool is that? It's like everything, like anything that you do, there's a potential to share that as a gift to somebody else. So it's so cool. And the woman who owns the resorts, she started a foundation. I don't have the name of it right now. Plus, I want to talk with her first before I talk about it on here. But she arranged. I mentioned last week that the local school didn't have electricity, so she arranged a fundraiser. She raised the $1,200 that was needed to install electricity at the school, and then she's been building houses, which I think, or was it? No, it was $2,000 for electricity. And then it was $1,200 to build a house, just a small, like, modest house for the teachers who teach there. And that's the sort of stuff that she's been doing. Plus, she's been bringing supplies over. So things like toothbrushes, pencils. There were some other things, too, that are escaping me. And then menstrual supplies. So that's where I was thinking. My friend Peter did mention also those. I think if you sew, you might be familiar with pillowcase dresses, where it's just like a real simple shape with a drawstring at the top, and then like elastic waist shorts for the boys. That those would be something that would be useful too. And I'd mentioned before that there's an organization. It's affiliated with Pixie Fair, which is called So Powerful, like SEW. I'll forgive them for the pun in the name. But they have a program where they provide washable pads so the girls can attend school. So I was just blown away. It's one of those things that, if you live in a developed country like I do in the United States, you don't think about it. You just think like, oh crap, I've got my monthly here and I got to go buy some supplies. That's not an option for a lot of women and girls in developing countries. So you think, okay, well, let's send over some disposables, but then they don't have the sanitation facilities, so they just end up littering the countryside. So that's gross. Nobody wants that. So the most practical solution is a washable one. And when I was reading on So Powerful's site, they do all their work in Zambia, which I found was neighboring Mozambique. So at first I was thinking maybe I could contact them to work with them. So I was on their website, and they mentioned an organization called Days for Girls. I linked them in the description. And I was looking at them, and they work all over the world, but not in Mozambique. So I filled out a form on their website, and I heard back from them in a couple of days with some more information. And I'm going to see if I can get something going in Mozambique. So, and what I like about this is that, a lot of times, like, when you're looking at extreme poverty, it gets really overwhelming because you can't solve all their problems. And you also don't want to be one of those people who's like looks down at them and thinks that they're less than you when they're not. So what I was thinking with the washable pads is that even if I can't help everybody, which I won't be able to, the people I do help, that has a huge impact on that person's life, their family's life. And then for the girls, they can get an education and they suddenly have infinitely more choices in life. So I went and I did some research because if I want to help a group of people, I need to know about them so that I help them in a way that respects them, their culture, and just is respectful to them. So I looked them up because I didn't know anything about Mozambique at all until my friend went there. So first of all, I didn't even know where in Africa they were. So I found that they're in Southeast Africa, and I wrote down some notes. And so I was looking, and apparently what happened was a couple centuries ago, they were colonized like much of Africa was, but they were colonized by the Portuguese. And then in the 20th century, they got their independence, but that in the process they had a civil war. So there was many years of it was already when colonization happens, it's the colonized country does not benefit. I'm not going to get into all that because I'm not an authority on that, and that's not what you came here for. But anyway, so that had already happened, and then they had the Civil War, which made conditions worse. So they're one of the poorest nations in the world. So what I found was that their minimum legal salary is only $60 a month. Most of the people there farm, but just for like subsistence, or I think that's the right word, like just to sustain themselves, like to feed themselves. Not enough where they could make a good income out of it. So 80% of the people there are working in agriculture, like I said, just to sustain themselves. Only 51% of them have a water source. Only 25% have sanitation facilities. 62% of the country is rural. And then here's the deal. The fertility rate is insane. It's 5.9 children per woman. In the rural areas, it's slightly higher at 6.6. In the urban areas, it's still 4.5. So that's insane. Like that's so high. And just to make the distinction, if someone wants to have that many kids, I'm not telling them not to. I have a friend with 6 kids. She loves them. It's great. It works great for her. But there's no way that all of those people wanted that many children. And if you're having more children than you want or are comfortable or feel that you can provide for, that's going to create a huge hardship. So to me, it all boils down to giving these women choices and helping them so that they can overcome the extreme poverty. And so that's kind of where I'm at, like where I want to focus. And it's just it's one region. It's near the capital of it's called Maputo. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. It's still 50% of the country speaks Portuguese, and I don't know any Portuguese, so I'm probably going to mispronounce things. But in any case, that is the region that my friend and this woman that they're focusing their efforts on. And just to be clear, because Mozambique was in the news recently for some ISIS-related attacks in the region of Palma. That's not the same area. So so if you Google Mozambique, that's the first thing you see, which is unfortunate. I feel terrible for the people there because it's like whenever like for me in Florida, whenever Florida's in the news for something bad, it's like, oh, again, like, please stop already. You're making us all look bad. So that's what I feel terrible. Like, if it's the first thing that comes up when you Google Mozambique right now, and it shouldn't be. It should be like all these great people here. But yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, like, there are about 1,100 people in that region. and the population is, it's about 44% or 46% under 15 years old. So it's a lot of children. So my focus in my professional life has always been to help children, but also gender equality too, because that ends up helping children. So that's something that I'm going to be looking at. And also the literacy rate for females there is only 45%. So what Days for Girls does is they provide this bag, and a lot of these are made by local chapters around the world, and they have to be made in a specific way. And I've already contacted the chapter that's closest to me. It's just in the next county over. And they make these, and then they ship them to wherever there's a need. So it's a handmade drawstring cloth bag, and it has the supplies. It's like a shield and a couple of liners, some washcloths, underwear, and then like an illustrated instruction sheet so that the girls know how to properly wash them, and so they don't get infections and things like that. So that seems like a great thing to help with. So I know how to sew. I already have, they use cam snaps, which I already have a ton of. Like, you can kind of see them back over there. I've got boxes and boxes of them. So that's what I'm going to work on. And as time goes on, I was thinking, wouldn't it be great to work on the enterprise portion of their organization? Because that's the other thing that they do as well, is they teach local women how to sew, so they can sew these kits and then sell them, so they can earn an income, and that helps their economy. The people will buy them. Those girls can attend school, because what happens over there, they're still under this colonial education system where they make it to 7th grade and they have to take an exam. If they don't pass the exam, they cannot move on to the secondary school. So their education just ends right there. There's no second chances. There's no credit recovery, no GEDs. They're just done. So if you're a girl who's missed like 60 days of school in a year because of your period, you might not pass that test. And then there go all your options, and then you're more likely to get married as a teenager and become a parent very early, and then you don't have options. So that's the whole thing for me. Like, something so simple like a washable pad provides all these options to these girls. So if they don't want to, get married and have a family, or they do, but they want to wait until they're a little older, they have that option. And to do that through sewing, like, it's just it's remarkable to me. So therefore, as time goes on, I'm going to be sharing more information with y'all and trying to get you all involved too, because this is just great. But yeah, a couple other things too is the infant mortality rate there is 10%. The HIV rate is 11.5%. That's actually gone down quite a bit. The male literacy rate is 73. If you recall, it's only 45% for women, and that's probably because they have to miss so much school. And then almost half the children there contract malaria, and I think the Gates Foundation is working on that. And then almost half the children there are malnourished as well. So there's just so many things that can be helped. And educated mothers tend to have lower rates of malnutrition of their children. So again, a washable pad reduces malnutrition, increases education, so much stuff. All right, so I think I'm done with that for right now. But I was thinking eventually, because I know with So Powerful, they got Baby Lock to donate a bunch of sewing machines, and they built a building for women who are interested in sewing these pads for income, that they could go there to work and sew. And then I looked online, and Janome even makes like a treadle, like a manual non-electric sewing machine for like $330. So if electricity is a barrier, there's an affordable sewing machine for them, and Janome is a reputable brand. So there's just so many possibilities here. I'm excited. But so yeah, I'd be curious to see what you all think of that. Like, I mean, do you ever make things like for humanitarian or charitable reasons, or does this resonate with you like it has with me? I'd love to know that. Personally, I'm going to be sending over also some masks too, because that's still that's obviously the pandemic is still alive and well. But I'm going to be making as many things as I can to send along with Peter when he goes back there. He has a GoFundMe where he's almost to half of his goal. His accommodations and meals are provided for by this woman who owns the resort, and he did a GoFundMe to cover his travel expenses, and then any excess baggage fees too. So any kind of like any way that he can bring stuff over. Like he had a friend recently say that he ordered some toothbrushes because it's something that's lightweight. That's the key. So I was asking him like, oh, would it help like to bring soap over? But he said that that's something that they can purchase locally and it's really heavy. But things that are made of fabric, obviously, tend to be lighter in weight. So, oh, Evelyn's saying, yes, let us know how we can get involved. Oh, yay, wonderful. Yeah, I'm really excited. I want to meet with the woman who has the resort, and then she has a nonprofit organization too. I want to find out more about that. Because that would be a great way if we can get like corporate donations. Like maybe Janome wants to donate some sewing machines. She said that she brought one over herself on her last trip. So that's good. So there's already an interest there. And plus, you know, sewing is fun. And then right now there's the pandemic, of course, affected this a lot, but there is as evidenced by the fact that she owns a couple resorts there, because Mozambique is right on the Indian Ocean. So there is a small tourism industry there. So I was thinking also, and again, I have to run all these things by her and other people who understand the area, to see if these are like feasible or practical ideas. But I was thinking like maybe they could make things that could be sold to tourists. But again, I want to make sure, just like I asked with the soap, I was like, oh, is this a good idea? Is this a practical idea? And no, that one's not, because of the weight of things. But this fabric stuff, I'm going to ask about that too. And then Peter was also looking into maybe bringing over jewelry making supplies. So that's still being looked into as well. Because if we're gonna possibly spend money and then donate time and resources, we want to make sure that it's going to be the things that do the most good. And then eventually maybe this region can recover from all this colonization and the civil wars that they've been through in the past, and become a flourishing tourist destination and combat the extreme poverty. And who knows, maybe eventually we can move on to another region in Mozambique and do the same thing. So I don't know, it's just great to have some kind of purpose. And I know for me personally, my kids are teenagers now, so they don't need as much like as long as I'm in I'm home for available for them, but I don't have to provide as much direct supervision. You know what I mean? Like they're, like you would with a toddler or like a preschooler. So they're more self-sufficient. So that frees up some of my time to do things like this and to use the skills that I have to help others. So to me personally, that's just really important. I feel that if I have something that I can give, that I should give it. All right, but having said that, Jenny, do you have any questions or anything you want to share? It doesn't have to be about this. I think today I'm going to edit the video for the keychain, and then I'll probably cut out this wallet, this necessary clutch wallet. If you haven't heard of that, the pattern is from Emmeline Bags. Super popular. There's an entire Facebook group for it. Oh, that reminds me. I found a good Facebook group. It's called Creative Bag Making. I joined it a couple of days ago, and it has been really nice. I'm a member of So Whatever, and I don't dislike the group. I just don't feel like I don't feel like there's a place for me there. It only fit in. Like when I post things, like I posted about this particular cause, and nobody commented on it at all. Like nobody even like clicked the like button. Nobody said a word about it. And like, really? Like, come on. Like it's not like a self-serving thing. Like I'm trying to recruit people to help some people, overcome poverty. It's like it's not like I was trying to like get anything for, like I wasn't promoting my YouTube channel or my Etsy shop. I was doing none of those things. I'm like, come on. So I'm like, maybe these aren't my people. Like I like more altruistic people. But I haven't mentioned it. I've actually haven't made a post in the creative bag making group. I'm just saying that so far it's just seems like a friend, like, I don't know, it's like a real friendly, I don't know, I feel more at home there. It's, it's always like a personal thing. Like it's individuals. Like someone might be like, what are you talking about? I love So Whatever. I'm very comfortable there. And it's, people always comment on my posts. So, it's like that. All right. I think I'm done saying and so 1,000 times. I need to work on this. All right. I am going to then sign off for this week, and I appreciate each and every one of you. If you are so inclined to hit the like button, that helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, too. So then you'll get notified of my next live stream. And I do this every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, even when I'm recovering from a COVID vaccine. So, all right, take care, everybody, and I will talk to you next week.